guys, Kat here. Today I want to talk about loving your body. This is something I feel like not a lot of people do, especially before their fitness journey. They think they're gonna love themselves and their body once they get to a certain weight or a certain body fat percentage, and it's very, very backwards. I have been at war with my body for a very, very long time, and it wasn't until about a few months ago that I really started to appreciate it and love it, and I've really honestly never been happier, and I've never felt healthier. For those of you who don't know me or know any of like my backstory or anything, I did struggle with anorexia for like over 6 years, and then I also had a binge eating disorder for about 2 years. So it has been quite the journey to get to where I am, and I want to share this journey and share what I know and what helped for me so that other people don't have to go through that like I did, and they can be happy, because that's the whole point, happy. Everyone has that one body part or a few that they really wish that they could change, and I had written a post about this like a long time ago. It was here, and it's me posing with like my legs and stuff, and I have honestly been at war with my legs for the longest time. I think they are bigger than the rest of my body, and it is where I store most of my fats. But then I realized I have to shift my focus. Like, these are my legs, these are the body part that gets me moving and gets me adventuring. Like, I go on all of these adventures. I go up all these rocks and I climb, and then I run and sprint and all that jazz, and it's just like I am bashing on these devices that I was given that help me to do the things that I love. And that really goes for any body part, because if you didn't have them, things would be a lot more challenging. And in my post I had written like, thank you for running miles in the freezing Wisconsin cold. Thank you for helping me lift all the crazy weights that I lift, all those squats and deadlifts, so freaking awesome. If you're having trouble with loving a certain part of your body, think about all the things that it allows you to do. And if it happens to be a situation where someone had made fun of you for having like a certain body part feature or something, like people called me cankles when I was in grade school, even though I didn't have cankles, so I was super self-conscious about my calves. But just remember that you can't change what they think or how they're bullying you, but you can change what's happening up here. And that is what's most important. And as I had mentioned before in one of my vlogs, when someone makes fun of you and bullies, it just means that they're suffering and they're going through insecurities and stuff. A happy person is not going to make fun of you or make fun of like a certain part of you. They'll bully on them. Another thing to consider is, does it help you to speak negatively about yourself? Is that going to change any part of yourself? Most likely not. Does saying that you don't like your legs suddenly going to morph them into whatever kind of shape that you want them? No! Remember, you are with yourself 24/7. You're literally your own best friend, and making fun of your best friend isn't a nice thing, and I'm sure your best friend would be like, oh, peace out, home slice, I'm not dealing with this. And you can't really do that with yourself. So ask yourself, is this helping me at all? And if it's not, well, it's hard to change the thoughts that run through your head. Like, you might think it and you might think, oh my god, why did I think that? But again, you can't change that, so just let those thoughts pass through you. Don't even judge them, being like, all right. But what you can change is what happens next. And if you have that thought where you're like, oh, my legs are just so big, they look awful, then you can follow it up with something like, oh, but they help me so much when I want to run and chase dogs, and when I want to go on a hike to my favorite place. It's little steps, and it's something that has to be pretty much done daily. And it's another thing you have to ask yourself is it worth it? Is it worth being sad about? Is it worth ruining your experiences? Probably not. You know, even at my lightest weight when I had anorexia, I hated my body. And now it's just like I'm 45 pounds heavier about, or somewhere around there, and I am just working on loving it, and I'm finally like feeling like it. So what can you do to start loving your body? Number one, recognize your triggers. For me, I found out that when I weigh myself and I don't see the number that I want to see, all of a sudden I look in the mirror and I see something different. Like, I could wake up and be like, hey, I look really good. And then I weigh myself and I'm like, ugh. And it just like totally ruins the mood of the day and everything like that. Another thing for me is when I don't eat foods that make me feel good. If I eat a lot of like junk foods, just like not as nutritious foods, which is okay to have those days where you're like, hey, I'm gonna eat whatever I want. But I always have to remind myself like, I I might not feel so good about myself after that. But when I really start to think about eating whole, nutritious foods that are fueling my body in like the most beautiful way, then I feel good about my body. We just gotta take that step back and realize that this is the most precious thing that we own. You know, we could lose all the other possessions in the world, but it's like, if we're not taking care of our bodies, and that includes your minds, which is what we're going over, then you're not gonna be satisfied with it. You're not gonna be happy with it. But if you really start to fuel it with these beautiful foods and beautiful thoughts and actions, then things are gonna turn around and you'll really start to appreciate your body again for what it can do and what experiences you can have. So eating those whole nutritious foods is just showing your body that you're honoring it and you're loving it, and you will feel better and it won't cloud your head with all these negative thoughts. But if you do want that cookie once in a while, it's totally okay. Cookies are amazing. Through my years of personal training, I've heard just so many complaints about how people feel about their bodies, and it's just so sad. And ask yourself, when you're older, do you want to look back at pictures and think, man, I hated my body? Probably not. You probably want to think, man, that was a great party. And you're your worst critic. I remember I had a dream where I was looking down at myself. It was like I was dead, but I was looking down at myself and I saw myself as other people saw me, and it was like I felt like really beautiful. And it makes you think like, that's your right. You can feel beautiful all the time, and that choice is yours. So if you want to feel beautiful all the time, you go and do it. Whatever weight you are or anything like that, that is your choice. That is your right. And nobody else can change that but yourself. Your body is your home. It's your beautiful, beautiful, unique home. You are unique, and that is like the coolest thing ever. No one is like you. You are enough right now as you are. Once I started really loving my body and appreciate it for what it can do, I started wanting to fuel it with those good foods. Like, it wasn't a chore anymore. It wasn't like, oh, I probably should eat this apple. It was like, wow, this apple is full of vitamins and minerals and I want to put it in my system. Everything else starts to fall into place. Even with like your workouts and stuff, I see a lot of people who just hate their bodies and they keep beating it up by doing all of these high intensity workouts because it burns the most calories and it's gonna get them results, so they think. But they neglect things like listening to their body and realizing like, I'm beating it up, I'm very in pain all the time, this isn't normal. Like, that's not a good thing. Again, like, once I started really appreciating it, I realized, oh, my body is actually today asking me to do more stretching or to be a little bit less intense, or today it feels like it wants to go crazy, and then I do that. You really do become more in tune with what it needs, and that's so cool. It took me a while to realize how to start loving my body because of like my history and everything like that, but what I started to do was research like how to self-love yourself. That was very badly put. How to love yourself. It's just a lot of self-care, and sometimes it means saying no to going to a party you really don't feel like going to. It means fueling your body with all those delicious foodies. It might mean journaling, figuring out what's going on in your head. It's expressing how you feel and not holding back from telling someone how you feel. It's being yourself and being like totally okay with being alone. And that sounds like really bad, but I mean, like, having that alone time and being like, you know what? No matter what, I'm gonna be okay because I'm awesome. And everyone's version of self-love is going to be different. Another thing I did was I switched jobs because the other one I felt was like draining me at the time and stuff. It was a wonderful job, but I was feeling very drained, and I realized like I needed to follow what I felt was right for me. So maybe it's something like switching jobs or changing like a certain situation in your life that's gonna help you to blossom. And it's scary, it's so scary. When I first quit my job, I'm like, I cried like for 3 months or something. But it ended up being like a really good step for me. So wherever you are in your fitness journey, I hope that you take some time for yourself and to learn what needs to be done for you in order to find that self-love. Because once you find that self-love, you'll do those workouts that are perfect for your body. You'll want to fuel it with those good foods. You'll appreciate your body and just feel so much happier. Your thoughts are so powerful, and they can really change the health of your body, and it's just not worth all the negative thoughts. It's really not. Take those tiny steps every day where if you have that negative thought, then you follow it up with some positive thoughts. You accept the compliment that someone gives you, and you just smile in the mirror and you think, I am unique and I am awesome. Remember, your body is beautiful as it is. You are enough right now. It all starts with the mind. Because who created what the definition of beauty is anyway? Alright guys, I hope this helps you out. Let me know in the comments below what you think, what topics you guys want me to cover. If you want me to maybe go more in depth about this, whatever it is that you want me to cover, yeah, let me know, and I will see you soon. Alright, roar!